I'm gonna need you to walk me through what happened.
Erik and I killed our parents together, so I'd say that makes us pretty close.
My goodness. Did you watch Monsters? Look, I don't know what to say. I'm about to do a review on it on YouTube, but I will talk to you soon. So clearly, Monsters was gut-wrenching. It was absolutely mind-blowing. This show is about Lyle and Erik. They are the Menendez brothers. The Lyle and Erik Menendez story is not your typical TV show. It was based on a true life story of brothers. They became popular for basically saying, "Dad, Mom, time to go," and they murdered their parents. This happened in 1989. I'm not going to lie, this was a pretty uncomfortable watch for me for obvious reasons. This was about one of the most popular crimes in American history. It was about wealth, about power, and a family unraveling in the most tragic way possible. You may or may not have heard about the basic story around this, but I'm going to tell you right now, the details are quite dark and twisted. The question is not whether the Menendez brothers killed their parents. They absolutely did, and they already admitted to that. The question has been and continues to be, why did they do it? Now, the Menendez family had it all. Jose Menendez, their dad, was a Cuban immigrant. He came from humble beginnings. He became a super successful entertainment executive and CEO of a major film company. And then he decided, let's go start a family. So he married Kitty, who was a former beauty queen, and they had 2 sons. Lyle was the older son. He was bold, he was outspoken, while Erik was more sensitive and reserved and was really into tennis. So they lived in a beautiful mansion in Beverly Hills. A funny story, this mansion actually previously belonged to Michael Jackson and Elton John. So I'm sure the main question on your mind right now is, why and how did these brothers, who were comfortable and had successful parents and what you would call a perfect life, end up killing their parents in cold blood? In this video, we'll look at the why and then the how. Not only that, we're also going to look at what Netflix got wrong and missed out, and questions many of us have about some of the things Netflix tried to insinuate about the Menendez family. Before we go on, if you like what you've been watching so far, please hit the like and subscribe button and let the algorithm bring more of my content your way. Now, there was more. There was more beyond the lavish lifestyle, and it was dark. Lyle and Erik decided to leak a very dark family secret that had haunted and disturbed them for many years. Their father had abused them physically, emotionally, and sexually. And their mom knew about it but looked the other way. And this went on for many years. Now, these brothers had been broken down mentally and emotionally. Another secret that got exposed was the fact that their father, Jose, had a temper. He was having affairs outside the marriage to Kitty. And these affairs actually led to her mental health struggles and not 1, not 2, but 3 suicidal attempts. So what I believe that Netflix tried their best to show in this series was show the brothers' claims, the theories on the parents' perspectives, and the prosecutor's perspectives, and also the point of view of quite a lot of other people involved in this case. So the boys claimed that they committed the crime because of the abuse that they suffered for years, but the prosecutors do not believe that there's an element of truth in this. They think it was cold-blooded, premeditated murder, and that the boys made up stories about the abuse. Now, quick backtrack. Before Jose and Kitty died, that's their dad and mom, Jose was angry with the boys about something and said that he would take them out of the will. And so the prosecution believes that they did this because of greed and to quickly get a hold of their parents' properties. Another really important question in the hearts of many people was that even if the boys were innocent and truly victims of this abuse, should it really lead them to murdering their own parents? How they killed their parents is the most shocking part of this. It happened in August 1989. Jose and Kitty were watching TV when their sons snuck in and shot their dad right in the back of his head with a shotgun. Now, the mother tried to run and they shot her repeatedly, even in the face. They shot their dad 6 times and their mom 10 times. The crime was so brutal that when the police arrived, they thought to themselves, this has to be a professional hit, maybe linked to the mafia. But then things got worse for the boys. They did not confess right away. In fact, they made a 911 call and claimed that they just came home and stumbled on the murder.
Don't kill my parents.
Pardon me?
Don't kill my
Were they shot?
Yes.
They were shot?
Yes.
Now, they didn't stop at this. Erik and Lyle went on a 6-month spending spree. They were spending this. Actually, I shouldn't be laughing at this. This is a serious story. The brothers spent about $700,000 of their parents' money on luxury cars, Rolex watches, condos, and even invested in businesses. Erik hired a full-time coach and sponsored his own participation in several tennis tournaments. Remember, Erik is the brother who is into tennis. While Lyle started investing in restaurants, including a Buffalo Wing restaurant. Now, this was pretty out of place, as you would agree, to do for two young men who literally just discovered their parents' bodies.
I don't think that it's understandable. I mean, people react to some traumatic event like that in different ways.
Of course, people started to notice that this was far from normal behavior, the sudden wealth, the erratic spending, and it raised eyebrows, and the police were getting suspicious. Then, the unbelievable happened. Erik couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't bear the burden of what he and Lyle had done. And so, he gave up and confessed to his therapist, Dr. Jerome Oziel.
We did it, my brother and I.
You shot them.
And this, friends, is
How I met your mother.
Sorry, we're not joking. And this is how they got caught. Now, just to be clear, this was possibly the only way the boys could have been caught. The reason is because the police did not find anything linked to the boys at the murder scene. And so there's a very high chance that they never would have been caught if Erik did not confess to his therapist. Anyway, the confession was the beginning of the end for them. Dr. Oziel's mistress found out about the tapes of the recorded sessions and leaked the information to the police. Now, the trial of the Menendez brothers started in 1993, and trust the media, they were all over it. Coincidentally, the trial happened right around the same time when O.J. Simpson's case was on.
OJ? OJ?
Yeah, who is that?
I'm Erik Menendez.
While the defense insisted that the reason for the murder was because the brothers were victims of years of abuse, the prosecution was like, no. It was all about the money for these guys. And they pointed to the spending spree that happened not too long after the murder as proof of their true motive. The jury was unable to reach a unanimous decision, and there was a retrial in 1995. At this time, the brothers were convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The worst part was that they were separated for years and they didn't see each other until about 2018. The story, I'm not gonna lie, but I believe that there were some things that Netflix got wrong about the story, because after watching this was the first time I was hearing about the Menendez brothers. I decided to do some research on my own. Here are some of the things that I believe that Netflix got wrong and missed out. The first thing is that the dad was shot in the back of the head. But if you watch the show, you will notice that Netflix tried to make it look like the parents saw the brothers coming and that they fired the shots right in front of them. Now, secondly, a lot of people do not think Lyle's personality was correctly depicted in this series. He was portrayed to be someone who was vain and cared more about parties and lavish living, but it appears that that's not who he really is. The next important thing is that there was a piece of important evidence which was left out in the trial, and this was a letter Lyle wrote to his cousin Andy Cano 8 months before the murder, describing the abuse. The next and final thing is that in 2023, a former boy band member, Roy Rossello, also came out to say Jose had abused him when he was a teenager, but the writers chose not to include these pieces which support the brothers' claims. And so I think the show really makes it look like they were kind of guilty. Now, apart from these things which I believe that Netflix got wrong with this show, a lot of us have questions about the show and some of the things that were inferred and implied from the show. One of the most important questions I have is, why was it implied that the brothers had an incestuous relationship? I mean, what was the point of that? What was the last scene about? It showed the family on a ship. The father was talking to the mom about different plans that they have for the future, and then it showed the boys kind of confirming that they were on the same page about killing their parents. What was that about?
You're not chickening out, are you? You bought the guns.
No. Let's fucking do it.
Was this something that actually happened? Was Jose really abused by his mother as well? If you saw the series, you'd see that there was a part that Jose, was on the phone crying to his mom and reminding her and asking her if she was abused because his sister told him that this also happened to her. So this begs the question, was this a generational abuse that was going on in the family? And my final question, I guess, is, what do you think about the boys? If you think they're innocent, why? And if you don't think they're innocent, why? The Menendez brothers case isn't just about a brutal crime. It's about the justice system, it's about wealth, and how the media can shape public perception. You will notice that this is not the first series about the Menendez brothers. People have debated whether the brothers were justified in killing their parents, or they were just cold-blooded killers. With a lot of documentaries, movies, and Netflix series, the story keeps evolving because each generation re-examines the case, and the real-life Menendez brothers stick to their truth, which is that it was done because of years of abuse. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you loved or disliked about the Netflix show, The Monsters. Who would you say were the actual monsters here? I would really like to know. And thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!